Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my channel, Molecular Mysteries. Hope everyone is doing fine out there. So, without any further delay, let's get into the class.
Come and fly away with me. Come and fly away with me.
Hello, good morning, students. Welcome back to my class. So, how are you all doing? So, we already have started the important anatomic classes already. So, let's get into the important part of our body called heart. See, this class is going to be so interesting. I'm going to show you the structure of heart, the chambers in the heart, and how does the heart how does the systolic pressure and the diastolic pressure would move, like what how does the rhythms are produced in the heart, what does the lub sound mean and what does the dub sound mean. Okay, so before that, I just want to clarify this, that this topic is not only for the students who are under life sciences or zoology for that matter. It is also for the general public, whoever is watching here, because there are many relatives of mine and there are many friends of mine who have been following my videos so regularly. So for them also, to get the awareness about heart and what is happening inside the heart and what are the valves in the heart, I'm giving you a better picture, and also the video is being going to be very interesting. Please let us continue, let us start. Right. So heart, heart is the most important organ in our body, considered only because the person can be alive only because of heart. Right, the person can survive only when the heart keeps the sounds continuing. That lub dub sound should even continue even at his last days of his life, right? That is how you decide whether the person is alive or not. So now, before I enter into it, so what does heart mean? You all know that the heart is the one that is present in between the lungs. And please remember that heart is never in the left side. Actually, it is in between the heart, in between the two lungs, in the thoracic cavity. So for that, I want to give you, if you can observe this picture, see, if you can observe this picture, this is how the heart is being situated. These are the two lungs, and the place between the two lungs is called mediastinum. Okay, this is where the heart is being situated, and that heart, it's a pear shaped structure where the apex is pointed downwards and it is wide at the top position, right? So it is like a narrow, it is wide in the top and narrow in the back, like in the down. That is how it is pointed towards the left side of your lungs. That is why we call it, it is located in the left. Actually, it is situated in between the thoracic cavity, or okay, the pleural cavity in between the two lungs. Okay, so this is how you see the heart structure in between the heart, in between the lungs. So now, this is a position of heart. So for you, you can see that heart is being situated in between the two lungs. Okay, for your easy understanding, I will give you on this. Okay, and now, what does heart do? So heart, what does that do? It will keep continuously, keep generating blood, and also helps in transporting of all the nutrients in the body, right? So for example, I will tell you what are the functions of heart, and apart from that, I will also discuss about the auricles and ventricles present in the heart and what does that how and function. So before that, I want to say this is the circulatory system, because heart is the main organ involved in the circulatory system. Circulatory system is nothing but it's a closed system where the transport of oxygen and nutrients would happen, right? So the each and every organ in our body needs to get that particular oxygen, then only they would really make use of it, and thus the person is alive. If no oxygen is being supplied to the body, the each and every organ keeps failing, thus leads to multi-organ failure, right? So that circulatory system is so important that it would help you for the transport of nutrients. At the same time, it will also remove all the nitrogenous waste that have been produced from each and every organ, and thus it gives it keeps on passing from each and every organ. And thus circulatory system, these are the functions of circulatory system. It transports the oxygen, it transports the nutrients to all the body parts, and also transports the nitrogenous waste, what, and it also collects the nitrogen waste from all the organs, right? And also it helps in transporting the hormones. See, hormones, you all know, that comes under endocrinology. I will also discuss anyway in the anatomic classes itself. Okay, now let's go for the circulatory system, and this circulatory system is again divided into blood vascular system and lymphatic system. So lymph, you know that, right? So in the coming classes I will also discuss this lymph and how does the body lymph really plays a role. Okay, and today I want to talk about only the structure of heart, because this subject is so vast that it takes a lot of your time for you to understand. So let us take it in a slow manner, because heart is something which you need, which we require patience to understand. Okay, so this circulatory system is mainly involved in two important systems, likely blood vascular system and the lymphatic system. What does blood vascular system mean? So you know that arteries and veins are the two type of blood vessels that keep running all over the body, right? So arteries are the one which would collect the blood and which would supply it to the other parts of the body, right? Veins are the collecting blood vessels, and arteries are the, they are going towards the organs, they're supplying blood vessels, I can say, right? So now today in this class we talk about the structure of heart, the functions of all the auricles and ventricle chambers in the heart, and also the aortic arches that are present in the heart. In the next class I will talk about the arterial system of the of the heart, and other next classes I will keep discussing about the venous system. I just don't want to be in a hurry, because heart is something which is very important. Okay, now, as I told you, yeah, I'm here. So this is the presence of heart in the middle of your lungs. See, now let's enter into the structure of heart. What does the structure of heart mean? See, this is how it externally looks like. Roy, that is, heart is actually covered with two layers, right? They're covered with two layers, and you have the heart is the heart is prevented from the shocks by the pericardial fluid that is present in between the hearts, in between the membranes of your heart. See, heart is generally layered with two membranes called double layered membrane, so that it would be protected from sudden shocks. So even if you have heard it, in the brain itself you have cerebrospinal fluid, right? How the brain is protected from the shocks is what you call the cerebrospinal fluid. In the same way, heart is also been protected by the pericardial fluid that is present in between the layers of your heart, right? And now, this is the external structure of your heart, and how does that mean? Like, what are these? What are the big one? What is the systemic? What is pulmonary? I will tell you in the internal structure. This is the external structure. Okay, and now, so let's see how beautiful the heart is really, you know, pumping the blood, right? Okay, now let's see the structure of heart, right? This is the internal structure of your heart. So when I'm pausing it, because for you to understand, see, if you can understand, see, these are the auricles that are present at the top. So you have two auricles and two ventricles present in the heart, right? The auricles are the upper position and the ventricles are the lower position. Okay, so left auricle, right auricle, right ventricle, left auricle, and the left ventricle. So see, these auricles are separated. These two are the auricles, okay, and these two are the ventricles, okay. So these two auricles are separated by interauricular septum, and the two ventricles are separated by interventricular septum, okay. And if you compare the auricles and ventricles, auricles are generally thin walled, I can say, and the ventricles are thick walled. If you can observe the diagram, you can see that they are thin walled, these are thin walled and these are thick walled, okay. And now, see, these are, what does the red one mean, what does the blue one mean? Yes, for the coming classes I have to tell you about the arterial system, what is oxygenated blood and what is deoxygenated blood. Already we have covered that the blood gets oxygen from the lungs for the purification, right? The deoxygenated blood goes to the heart, goes to the lungs, and where they get converted into oxygenated blood, and that oxygenated blood is again back to the heart for the supply to the other organs. That is how the circle keeps rotating. So these are the parts of your heart. Okay, these are auricles and ventricles. Auricles are little thin in walled and the ventricles are thick walled. Okay, now let's see what really happens. So these auricles are separated from the ventricles by auriculoventricular septum. At the same way, this left auricle is separated from the left ventricle through the left auriculoventricular septum. Okay, and now, so what does the heart functions? How does the heart functions? See, you have two important arches present in a heart. They are the pulmonary arch and the systemic arch. So, what does the pulmonary arch do? See, I'll tell you now. See, these are the auricles and these are the ventricles. It's the open internal structure of your heart. Now it's open. Just see it. I'm just pausing it. See now. See how beautifully it was being explained. See, this is coming from the ventricle. This is your right auricle, and this is your right ventricle. The other side of the photo is the left auricle, and this is the left ventricle. The first of all, the heart comes, sorry, the blood comes from the auricles to the ventricles, and and from ventricles it will get supplied to the other body parts. And you know what? There are many. The whole heart is so well mechanized because the auricles and ventricles are being controlled by important valves called tricuspid valves and bicuspid valves. What does that mean? See, the auricles and the ventricles have the valves present in between the auricles and ventricles. Those are called the tricuspid valves. In the same way, the left auricle and the left ventricle is also separated by a bicuspid valve or the mitral valve. So, what does they do? They make sure that the blood is entering only from the auricles and to the ventricles and not going backwards. Okay, so the auricles that once the auricle receive the blood, the both auricles once they receive the blood, these two valves called tricuspid valves and the bicuspid valves will make sure that auricles now get contracted and make the blood enter into only the ventricles respectively. Okay, and now once that is done, the ventricles get contracted, right? So how does the pressure happen? So before I start about the heartbeat and what does the systole mean, what does the diastole mean, I just want to tell you that there are two important aortic arches present. This is your pulmonary aorta and this is your systemic aorta. Systemic aorta is the one which supplies blood from the heart to all the body parts. It supplies the oxygenated blood that is been collected from the lungs and helps in supplying to the all the body parts. That is all you call the systemic aorta. What does the pulmonary aorta mean? This is your pulmonary aorta. What does the pulmonary aorta mean? The pulmonary aorta is the one which contains the deoxygenated blood. Okay, this deoxygenated blood is collected from all the body parts. Like, see, this is your right auricle, right? This right auricle has two precaval veins and one postcaval vein. Okay, you know that veins are the collecting blood vessels, right? So the precaval veins collect the blood from the head, and the postcaval vein they generally collect from the other body parts of your body. And thus all the deoxygenated blood which needs to be getting into oxygenated has to enter into the auricles through the pulmonary aid, right? So the auricles receive the deoxygenated blood from the precaval veins and the postcaval vein and enter into auricles. In the same way, the oxygenated blood that is present in the left auricle needs to enter into the left ventricle. Where does that oxygenated blood is coming from? It gets from the lungs, right? Lungs are the one where it is converting the oxygenated into, sorry, deoxygenated into oxygenated, right? So this the pulmonary vein which contains the oxygenated blood enters into the left auricle. Please remember, the pulmonary vein consisting of the oxygenated blood enter into the left auricle and it goes into the left ventricle. So pulmonary, any vein coming from the pulmonary means it is oxygenated, right? And here, this auricle will receive the deoxygenated blood from all the body parts, and that blood needs to be purified, and thus it enters into the pulmonary aorta for your purification. Okay. So now please remember, don't get confused. I'm not dragging it. So the left auricle consists of the oxygenated blood coming from the pulmonary vein. Okay, and the right auricle consists of the deoxygenated blood that is collected from the other body parts through two precaval veins and one postcaval vein. Okay, and thus, so when the auricles are completely filled with the blood, okay, now it's time for the heart to get contracted. And you know what? You have ever heard about sino-auricular node, SA node. We call it as sino-auricular node. That node is present here in the auricle. In between, near the auricle, you have a sino-auricular node. And this is sino-auricular node is very important for your rhythmic contraction of your heart. The sino-auricular node is called the pacemaker. You know that pacemaker, right? Each and every heart have a pacemaker because that helps in regulating your speed of your heart. So gyno-auricular node is a node that is present in the right auricle from where the rhythm starts, where the heartbeat starts. Okay, the heartbeat now starts at the gyno-auricular node. Now let's talk about the heartbeat. So hope guys I'm not confusing you. I'm not giving I'm giving a brief note of it. See how the structure of heart is. See you in the next class. Until then, stay positive, stay healthy, and be kind to everyone. Thank you. Bye bye.